Okay, here we go. Now let's make the filling. The one thing with this dish here is a white stew. You don't want to brown it. So we're going to add in our butter, and then we're going to add in our turkey. Just move it around, get that butter all in there. And now we're going to add in our onions. And our carrots. And our celery. And stir this around here. Again, I've got it on a medium-high heat right now, but if it starts to brown, you can turn it down, and the main thing is that you want to be patient. Okay, now what we're going to do is, I've just had the vegetables in here just for a few seconds. We've added the potatoes now. We're going to stir it around. And what I like to do at this point here is, let's add a little bit of seasoning. You can try it as you're cooking. A little bit of kosher salt and some black pepper. So now the turkey, when I look at it, it's almost done. So we're almost getting ready to add in our flour. So the turkey is almost pretty much ready to go. We're going to take our flour, we're going to sprinkle it over top. So this is going to be the base of the sauce. We're going to turn down the heat a little bit, and we're going to cook this for a few minutes. So what we want to do is to cook out all the chalkiness of the flour. Stir it around, make sure there's no lumps, and what we're going to do next is we're going to add in our warmed turkey stock. Okay, we're now going to add in our warm stock. The reason why we add a warm stock is if it's ice cold, what tends to happen is it makes the mixture really lumpy, the flour. So we're going to add, we've added in the stock. Now we're going to add in the wine. Wine's going to make everything taste great. And we've got our cream. Really, really important is you want to check the seasoning when this comes to a boil, and you want to keep stirring it because when the flour starts to heat up, that's when it thickens. And we do want quite a thick kind of stew because this is going to go into a pie plate, and we're going to bake it into the oven. You don't need to cook too much at this point. Okay, here we are on the last step of the stew. The stew is coming right up to a boil, so everything is as thick as possible. We're going to add in our grainy mustard, or flavor, and then our Parmesan cheese. That's really good for a little bit of sharpness and thickening up a little bit more. And a little bit of color of the chopped parsley. Once you have all of that in, turn it off, stir it up, and get it into your container. You can use different size containers. Something like this is good for the oven. You can use a little bit larger one. This does make a little bit extra, but you also can do it in a larger container like this. Spoon it in here, get it in the fridge, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, to roll out the dough, we're going to just take a little bit of dusting of flour, put it on top of your dough here, and we're just going to roll this out. We don't want to roll it too much. Again, the more you roll it, the tougher the dough will get. The dough will seem like it is breaking apart, but trust me, it is just a matter of just simply rolling it together, bringing it to a nice thickness, and you're going to have a really nice flaky dough. If it starts to stick a little bit, you can put a little bit more flour on here. So we'll go a little bit this way. And I can actually see some pockets of that shortening still left in here. What I do is I feel it with my hands. You could feel it underneath to see that's sticking a little bit, so we'll put a little bit of flour underneath. Bring that over. And if it's sticking to your rolling pin, just put a little bit on here, like this. And I need a little bit more on this side here. And we're pretty much ready to go. We're going to trim off a little bit excess here. Well, that's it. That's how you make it. Okay, now to get the pastry top onto here, use your rolling pin. And again, it's really flaky. This is fine. Pull it up like this. Bring it over here. And simply just roll it out. What you can do is you can fold some of the edges underneath like this if you want, or if you want you can just sort of push it on top. Fill in a couple of the broken edges, so I'll use my fingers just to kind of push down like this. Gather up your excess and tidy this up a little bit here. And you get a really big pastry brush that's not needed. And we're going to brush on a beaten egg with a little bit of water on here. This makes the crust really golden brown. Just on like that. A little bit more. And there we go. Let's get this one in here like this. And here. And again, you can use a fork to make it a little bit more decorative here on the sides. You can even put a little bit more seasoning on the top, a little bit of salt if you want. And there you go. We're ready for the oven. Okay, here we are right in the last step here. So 350 degrees for 1 hour approximately. The crust is really nice and golden brown. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to this dish. So we're going to spoon out a little bit here and see how it looks. The crust is unbelievable. Look at that. The vegetables are cooked. The turkey is nice and tender. And I don't know about you, I think after eating this one here, I'm going to want to go out and get another springtime tom. Cheers.